Now,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a belated Halloween episode. A very spooky one, in fact, because we have a missing persons case aboard us. As you can tell, once again, it is Karl and I running this, as I appropriately said last time, two birds flying solo together. Hi, Karl. How you doing?
pretty good. We're on a sinking ship.
Yes, we are. But despite the fact that it is sinking, we're here to watch. Well, we're not. We already watched it, but we're here to review Batman: The Long Halloween parts 1 and 2. I will be covering part 1, and Karl will be covering the synopsis of part 2. Obviously, these are pretty much two feature-length animated movies, so we won't delve too much into them. Just enough to get the basic point across, and then just discuss about it. Like I said, this is a very belated Halloween episode, but we hope that you guys will be enjoying it. Jacob was not able to make it tonight, but we wish him well. Hi, Jacob. How you doing? Either way, so yeah, that is what we're doing here tonight, and it's gonna be pretty casual review. I'd say nothing too antsy about it, just for fun for Halloween. Um, yeah, I know I already said, but how you doing, Carl?
I'm
What's
doing
the
pretty
what,
good.
what's the skinny?
You're our skinny friend.
Thank you very much. But you are a facts guy. Give us some info on Batman: The Long Halloween parts 1 and 2, featured on the streaming service known as HBO Max.
Yes. Uh, Long Halloween is a very well beloved comic from Jeff Loeb and Team Siegel, I think his name was.
Yes.
And it stars Jensen Ackles, who is very known, I believe. Let me double check my fact, for playing one of the. Oh, yeah, I just have my hand over him. Known for playing on the CW series Supernatural
Oh,
as Dean Westchester. But
wow.
we also have Josh Darlin as Harvey Dent in Two-Face. Billy Burke as Gordon. The unfortunately passed away Naya Rivera as Selena Kyle.
May she rest in peace.
Ashlyn Duncan as Alfred, who's been playing the role for a little while. And the fan favorite Troy Baker as the legendary Joker.
Hey,
Do you want me to do any more of these, or would you like me to go into our rest of our movie?
do you think there's any other specific vital information we need to give to the people here before we run right into it?
Let's see. Oh, we also have the legendary John DiMaggio playing the Hatter.
Oh yeah, I forgot he plays the Hatter in this movie. He always finds a way to sneak into one of these, don't he?
That and Kaylee Skuskoff as Dr. Pamela Isley.
Maybe.
Yep. And then I'll give our main bad guy, Carmine Falcone as Titus Welliver.
You got that mixed up.
I didn't get that mixed up.
Carmen Falcone as Titus.
Oh yeah, Carmine Falcone at no Titus Ring as Carmine Falcone.
There you go.
Oh, potato.
And tomato. But yeah, as you can see, obviously these are two movies split, and we have a lot to work with when it comes to villains and what the story brings us. It's going to be a ride, folks. So I guess without any further delay, we should probably jump right into it, shall we?
No, we should take 10 more minutes talking about it.
Okay. What was the budget? What were the reviews?
That I
Um,
don't. I can tell you how long it is. The first part was 85 minutes. The second part was 87 minutes.
So yeah, it's like pretty close to 3 hours.
Yeah, pretty close.
Pretty dang
But
close.
all kidding aside, let's go ahead and get into the movie.
All right. Okie dokie. So we start off with, well, Gotham's legendary crime family, the Falcones. Obviously, they're not the most high-profile Batman villain. They're not the first you think of, but they're actually pretty pivotal. Pivotal. I mean, when it comes to the Batman mythos, especially when you know the lore between them and Batman's father, Bruce Wayne, yada yada yada. But we don't really have time to go deep into Batman lore, do we?
No, so that they don't. We actually don't. They really don't call him outside of the family. They don't really call him Carmine Falcone. They just call him the Roman.
Yeah, that well, that's his nickname. Obviously, early in the movie when Harvey Dent, I'm sure everyone here knows Harvey Dent. Uh, DA Harvey Dent does actually make a not funny line, but I thought it was an interesting like how he mentioned he has a name, and he mentions his name is Carmine Falcone, and that he doesn't like him being called the Roman. I thought that was a interesting line that they busted out there. I don't know if you caught on to that one, Carl.
I did notice that.
But either way, so yes, we open up with the Falcones, and we get this small little montage as the oh, excuse me, as the opening credits roll. You know, them doing their crime thing. I mean, it's they got Tommy guns. They are very stereotypical like Italian mob. I mean, literally in this movie, they say sleep with the fishes and make an offer you can't refuse. Come on.
There is one other thing that's interesting in both opening credits scenes. They both show the when they show the actors playing there, like when they show Jensen Ackles as Batman, they actually use the art from The Long Halloween.
Yeah, that was something I noticed too. That they actually used like direct panels from the Long Halloween during the opening call. It's especially evident whenever it shows panels with Catwoman, because her design in that comic is very interesting.
Isn't it pink?
It's like a pinkish purple, but it has
Can you
like
say it?
fur in spots, and it has the really weird like stretched out ears.
Not to
I'll
be
put a
mean,
picture on screen right here. I'll put a picture up on screen.
not to be mean to Tim Siegel because he is a very good artist who's been doing his job for a long time. But for when I have read the comic, it has been a while, and I didn't know that was Catwoman. I was like, why is there a rat woman in this book?
Yeah, she looks like a rat.
I thought I was reading a Batman book getting with Catwoman, not a Batman getting with a rat woman book.
Yeah, it's a very strange design, but like I guess it's not the worst the characters ever looked. I'm looking at you, Halle Berry.
Did you know they
I
actually
don't
gave
I don't
her?
I don't dislike you, Halle Berry. You're actually a pretty good Storm, and I like you as an actress, but like that Catwoman. Oh,
Did you actually know that for one, that was they actually gave that universe its own Earth, and two, that's they only made that movie just because it's been in development hell for so long, just like the Batman was in development hell for 6 years.
and what conflicting tales they both are in terms of quality.
Well, the Batman is very good, and Catwoman is probably the worst piece of dog shit I've ever watched in my lifetime. And I still wash my eyes out every night just to get it out of my mind.
Wow. From Carl, that's evisceration. Okay. But yes, we open with the Falcones, and we see Johnny Vitti, who's the nephew of the Roman, being murdered in his bathroom with a suspicious-looking pumpkin being placed at the scene of the crime. And we pick up with Jim Gordon, Jim and the gang, trying to track down who committed this act. Obviously, for people who know, this was committed by the Holiday Killer, whose identity will be revealed at the end, but we're not going to get there quite yet. And they've been strategically taking out people connected and close to the Roman Carmine Falcone on specific holidays. And of course, it started here as the Long Halloween, as the title implies. And we meet up with Jim Gordon, Bruce Wayne, and Harvey Dent all teaming up, pretty much becoming a collective unit in order to take down Roman and find out who this holiday killer is. But we have a little fly on the wall known as Selena Kyle, Catwoman, who is spying on Batman and the gang. And in typical fashion, Batman chases after her, chase ensues, there's a train. There's a very suspicious lack of falling when it comes to this train. It's raining. I mean, I know Batman's wearing boots, but I would expect him to slip at least once, but I don't know. That's just me. But they run around a bit. But it turns out that Catwoman was leading Batman to a little storage house for the Falcone's money. And so Harvey Dent shows up. Is it fair to say that all hell breaks loose in the sense that, well, there's a lot of fire?
Yes, but I will say it when they decide to light all the money on fire, Batman's like, let's flip a coin. No,
Yeah.
Batman knowing the coin is double-sided. Like heads will
gives the double-sided coin.
like heads will light it on fire. Tails will will move it. Batman, you knew that coin was double-sided. You knew you were going to light it on fire. You just wanted Harvey to get in trouble. Like he decided to do it, not me.
That was cold, which is funny because he lit the whole thing on fire. Yeah, the Roman ain't too pleased about the fact that all his money just went up in smoke. And then, there's the aforementioned sleep with the fishes scene where he kills one of his own dudes. But it's nothing you wouldn't find something outside of The Godfather.
Oh, and he blows up Harvey's home.
Yeah,
but look at if his wife and him are outside talking. Luckily for them.
And this is where we get introduced to Gilda Dent, Harvey's wife. They technically quote unquote say it out loud, but they mostly use the words just to imply the fact that she's sterile, meaning that she's infertile. She can't have kids.
No, she can. We learn later there's a reason why she doesn't want kids.
Oh, then we got totally different messages here. I thought it was implied that the fact that she physically could not have them.
Well, you want me to explain something that I realized afterwards? Or do you want to
Sure, because I'm actually kind of confused at that point.
So, at the end, when it's revealed insert blank here, that she and one of Falcone's kids had a kid, the Roman was not too happy about that, as you probably remember, and the child got ripped from her womb.
Oh, that's horrible.
So she had I hate to say, probably get us banned on YouTube, but a forced abortion.
Duh! Wait, did we get past the 15-minute mark? Probably not.
I don't know. Probably not, but I don't care. It's what happened. But and she also says later in the movie, I can't because I don't want to, and I don't want to because I can't.
I remember that
was. So I think it could be where she is infertile because they did the forced abortion on her.
Yeah.
Or you just be she has so much trauma from when the child was ripped from her womb that she doesn't want to go through that trauma again.
I mean, that's also a fair point. Like I said, they don't flat out say, "Oh, she physically can't have kids," but I thought that was just heavily implied.
People usually have two different interpretations of what a film says.
Yeah. That's why we have multiple people here. And one missing.
Betty's off with his other podcast family.
Yeah, Jacob. We're on to you.
We're totally kidding, Jacob. We don't know where you are or why you're missing, but we do love you, buddy.
We hope you're having fun. Yes, as Carl alluded to, Harvey is talking with his wife Gilda, and they're about to go into the house, and the house blows up. Blows to smithereens. And I kind of dig what they do later on, like after the house blows up, because obviously Dent is put in the hospital. Gilda is actually quite fine, but Harvey is put in the hospital, and I feel like most people are like, "Oh, this is the part where he becomes Two-Face," that whole kit and caboodle. But no, the movie itself even fakes you out with it because he shows up later, and he's banged up, but he's not like scarred or anything, and that you see half of his face on the screen, and you think he's gonna turn, and that the other half is gonna be scarred, but no, he's mostly fine. Like I said, he's banged up.
Yep.
That's for part 2.
So now we're on Thanksgiving. Tell us about Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, it's one of my personal favorite holidays out of the year. I mean, I like getting together with family, saying what I'm thankful for, and eating some nice food. I don't care about the football that much, but I like spending time with family. Playing some cards, some dominoes.
Okay,
It's a fun time.
not the actual holiday, you dumping dumperhead. What happened on Thanksgiving in the movie?
Oh, you should have specified. Anyway, so we catch up with Batman and Jim Gordon on Thanksgiving. Obviously, Harvey's still in the hospital at this time. He gets out later. He's mostly fine right now, but he's in the hospital right now. So we catch up with them, and Batman is chasing. I can't remember his name in the is it Mickey Chen? Is that his name?
I am looking. It
He's
does.
an
It just
associate.
calls him. It says here that night Chen is associate, so it just says Chen. It doesn't say his name.
I
Maybe if I look at another Wikipedia article, it'll tell me. No, away.
I think it's Mickey Chen. I'm gonna roll with that, but correct me if I'm wrong, Carl. Yeah, Batman is seen chasing an associate of the Roman, Mickey Chen,
Yep,
through
you had it right.
Chinatown.
You had it right. It was Mickey Chen.
Boom. Through Chinatown, which honestly, Batman in Chinatown would be a dope movie. I'm just saying. But he's chasing Mickey Chen through Chinatown, and he basically it's ambushed by a bunch of I guess members of the Chinese mob. But he actually fights most of them off pretty handily. There's even this funny part where it's hard to explain fight sequences, but he makes a dude hit himself with his own stick. It was funny. But at the end, Catwoman even shows up and gives him the hand, and he chases Mickey Chen down into the sewer. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the movie right here, that he tells Mickey Chen, like, hey, I'm not responsible for what happens down here in the sewer. I'm paraphrasing here. But Mickey Chen runs farther and farther down, and then he gets grabbed by Solomon freaking Grundy, who's just hanging out here. I love it. The first, on first view, you think it's gonna be like Killer Croc or something, because he's the Batman sewer and the villain in the sewer, But no, freaking Grundy shows up, and Batman actually reasons with Grundy, saying like, "Hey, if you let me take this guy, no one will ever bother you again. We'll leave. You'll be cool."
Oh no,
And
he
then
says Mickey Chen will never bother you again.
well, yeah, but obviously Grundy just wants to be left alone, and he's actually surprisingly cool with it. He's like, "Okay." He hands him off to Batman, and then he saunters off, saying his old nursery rhyme.
Well, he only ever says one part of it.
Yeah, well, he says "born on a Monday."
Then later, when Harvey is banged up, he even finishes it.
Yeah, which I think it was actually really nice that Batman took part of the Thanksgiving dinner and brought it to Grundy. I thought that was actually really, really nice.
Yeah.
actually a heartwarming part in this movie, all about a killer.
Yep. But now tell us about Christmas.
Well, hold on. I didn't quite finish the Thanksgiving part.
That's right. Sorry.
Oh, good. But they bring Mickey Chen in, and Jim Gordon gives Batman a lesson in detective work because they can't get really any sort of information out of Mickey Chen. But it doesn't really end up well for any of them because Holiday shows up, and well, murders a bunch of the Chinese mob. Then we get to Christmas.
Now it's Christmas time.
Oh, Christmas! I'm glad we at least had a segment on Thanksgiving. People like to jump straight from Halloween to Christmas. I mean, I've heard Last Christmas about 3 times since Halloween ended. Uh, pray for me.
But
Pray for me.
now Christmas Eve.
Yes, we're on Christmas Eve, and so obviously Batman is seeing a pattern here. Hey, these killings are happening on holidays. Why not go and talk to the one villain whose whole thing was killing on holidays? Calendar Man. So he and Gordon go to Arkham Asylum and go talk to Calendar Man, who gives them very vague clues and different hints on who it could be. He even questions Harvey Dent as a suspect. But one line sets it off, and Batman realizes, oh shoot, the Joker's escaped for the umpteenth time. Yes, the Joker has escaped and is out on a rampage in Gotham City. Excuse me. And Joker goes. We don't see him do this, but according to Alfred, Joker goes through the phone book and just breaks into people's houses whenever they're named Dent, so he could find Harvey Dent. Because he thinks. Oh, go ahead, Carl.
I was gonna say that. Hate to say that. Not that it dates the movie, but it kind of does date the movie.
Yeah, them using phone books. Who
Because
uses phone books anymore?
I use it as like a hold down something when I need to stick glue on it. Like you need to stick phone book.
Although the thing that dates this movie the most is if you look at like the police cars and all that. Shoot, they look like
look at the crime family cars. Those are old.
they look like they're from the 50s, maybe even earlier.
Yep.
We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Joker. But yes, Joker shows up at Harvey Dent's house and is like, hey, I want to know about this Holiday fella. And then makes Harvey do the whole dance thing by shooting at him. Because this is after Harvey has escaped from the hospital and catches up with Gordon. Gordon gives him a gun saying, hey, protect your family and all that. Which that didn't go well. As soon as he goes for it, the Joker's like, well, he does his thing. But once he can't get any information about Harvey, he goes straight to Carmine Falcone himself. And he basically spills the means of saying, like, hey, because the audience are saying, like, hey, maybe the Joker's the Holiday killer, but he flat out says, like, no, I'm not. And it's even related later on in this movie when we get to the New Year's section that he's out to kill the Holiday killer because he sees them as competition. Someone's stealing his spotlight. For once, the Joker's ego is getting ahead of him for once. I just realized I said for once twice. Who the heck cares? Yes, and the target for this holiday is one Sal Maroni. Oh, wait, no. I'm my bad. Now, Sal comes later. It's one of
Bodyguards. It's just one of his bodyguards.
Does the bodyguard have a name?
Let me look. Falcone's guard Michael Gappa chases Joker out of the building, but is killed by Holiday.
Okay, fair enough. We'll call him Mike. So yeah, bodyguard Mike is the target here. Once he's led away from Falcone as he chases the Joker out of his big old estate. I don't know what he is killed by Holiday, which makes victim number, I guess, 3, even though Holiday killed a lot of people on Christmas. But anyway, we're over here to New Year's.
Oh no, one other thing you forgot to mention about Thanksgiving. I mean, Christmas.
What I miss?
Batman has 5 suspects.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Batman goes deeper into the detective work side of things as he nails down some of the suspects that could be responsible for the Holiday murders, which he mentions Joker. He mentions Carmine Falcone himself, Carla Vitti, which is Falcone's sister, and one that's blanked out because he doesn't like this as as a suspect, but it is possible that Harvey Dent himself could have been responsible for it. Like I said, at this point, we don't know. We have no clue who the heck is responsible for it. Then we jump to New Year's. Is that a better call?
Yes.
So we cut forward, and Bruce Wayne is in. Well, yeah, I'd say he's formally invited to a yacht party, um, run by the Falcones, because they're raising money for a hospital. It's a hospital, right?
Yeah, it's a children's hospital.
Yeah, it's a children's hospital that was made by not Bruce, Thomas, Lord, by Thomas Wayne and Carmine Falcone. And Batman sees it as an opportunity to, get some more intel on the big dealio. And this is where we get most of the screen time for Carmine Falcone's son, Alberto Falcone. He appears periodically throughout the movie.
Well,
And we learn
actually,
that,
I did forget one thing. You did forget to mention that during Thanksgiving, his son sent a mocking well goodwill card, which sends Harvey over the edge to go to the in front of the building where Jim gives him the gun,
yeah,
and the son and Carmine just beats the shit out of his own son.
yeah, yeah, they don't have the best relationship.
He hates that he sent him to Oxford.
Yeah, and we learn more about why Alberto hates it, and because we're meant to believe that hey, he is jealous and that he wants to be running the family. Bruce even comes to that realization that oh shoot, Alberto might be, the suspect we've been looking for because the motives all line up. But in a heart to heart with Selena, who's also on the yacht, which he gets way too close, way too fast to her. But hey, Alberto does mention that hey, he doesn't want to be the leader of the family. He just wants to leave. He wants to go do his own thing. Oh yeah, and then there's the whole thing about him finding out Batman's identity, but that's really undone within like the next 5 minutes.
But he also wanted his father's praise because even here it says,
Oh yeah,
"Oh,
like he never hated his father, but he just wanted him to be proud of him.
but he was angry. He got angry when because he thought Bruce Falcone's like this is the son I've always had that like he's talking about his son, and then spotlight falls on Bruce.
Yeah, yeah. He's making this big commencement speech, and then he brings up Bruce Wayne, and it just pisses Alberto off. But Bruce's hunch of Alberto being the holiday killer falls very short as we find out that well, we don't find out. We see him get shot multiple times by Holiday, and even shot off the boat and it was nasty.
A razor,
Into,
the
into the
boat
blades.
spinner.
I'm trying to think of the word in there. Propeller. That's it. Propeller.
Yeah.
And he's chunked up and it's nasty looking. Bruce attempts to chase the Holiday killer, but Holiday eventually gets away. And it's just really frustrating for everyone involved because obviously Alberto's dead. Bruce is nobody's closer to finding the holiday killer. Harvey's not AWOL, but he is very much doing his own thing at this moment. And like I said, they're no closer to finding him. And the Joker's on the loose, as we see when we come to the New Year's, like the rest of the New Year's section, which will round out part 1 of the movie.
No, we did mix things up. Alberto's death is the last thing we see.
Oh yeah, crap.
He stops him, and then he says, someone mentions that it's all a puzzle and game. He goes, Alberto, and then he runs over, and that's when the
That's
identity
what it
gets revealed.
was.
So he stops
Sorry,
one plan. He stops the Joker. He stops the Joker plan.
Yes, he stops the Joker from bombing half of Gotham, because I mentioned earlier he wants to get rid of Holiday. So he's like, hey, if half the city's here for New Year's, I have a 50-50 shot. And hey, at least I get to kill a lot of innocent people.
And we also see that
You sick bastard.
Gilda and Harvey's relationship is very much on the rocks now.
Yeah, they're not doing so good. They're not doing so good. But hey, but we will pick up on them in part 2. But yes, you're right. Batman stops the Joker. It's funny because I pretty much just sequence broke this review, and there's the whole Easter egg in Arkham Asylum about Joker talking about sequence breaking. It all comes full circle.
And then there is a post-credit scene. I will mention it, and then this will. There's a post-credit scene where Bruce goes to the funeral. Al Falcone approaches him about helping with the money laundering. Bruce refuses. Bruce introduced to a very nice woman accompanying Falcone, who starts to shake his hand, and then vines emerge from underneath her sleeve, gripping Bruce's arm and turning her eyes green, indicating Ivy has taken control of Mr. Wayne.
What?
Yeah.
So with the first part out of the way after that post-credit scene, I feel like it's only appropriate for me to turn to my cohort here, Karl, as he'll be taking on the task of giving you the synopsis, the overview of part 2. Take it away, Karl.
So in part 2, we wake up to a very jungle-fied Wayne Manor.
Awesome.
So we go into a dream somewhat sequence of Bruce hanging out in a field of flowers with a very beautiful red-headed woman. We realize later, when we hop out of the dream sequence, it is Bruce under mind control by Poison Ivy, with Alfred also being mind controlled, with her helping Falcone take over assets for Wayne. I mean, Wayne signing over assets to Falcone. It has been 3 months since the death of Alberto. Holiday has killed 3 people, at least.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and April Fool's Day.
But that one's not even a real holiday. I call bullshittery.
Yeah, well, we need a holiday for each month, technically.
Yeah.
But anyways, and every night, Gordon and Harvey at first, then just Gordon, turns on the bat signal, waiting for Batman to show up. But Catwoman eventually breaks into the manor, frees Bruce from Ivy's mind control by giving him some nice scratch marks, removing his green hairy chest.
Hey, whatever works.
Frees him, kicks Ivy's butt, and Alfred is released. Bruce and then Alfred talk about one calling the lawyers about how to get all that stuff undid because he was under mind control, which makes it no longer legally binding. But on Mother's Day, one Mr. Jonathan Crane escapes from Arkham Asylum.
Oh, great.
And when Batman begins to intervene, wearing a mask to protect him from from the fear toxin, not from the disease that shall not be named.
He's wearing a gas mask.
Yes, but when Scarecrow realizes the gas is not going to work, he injects him. And Bruce then goes throughout the city, being forced, like in every Batman project almost ever, reliving the night his parents died.
Oh no.
And while he's in his drugged out state, Catwoman finds him, but he thinks it's his mother, and she leads him back to the manor where Alfred finds him. Which one thing about that scene, Bruce is an idiot technically because he took off his mask after the family he was terrorizing technically left.
Could have been anybody.
But on Father's Day, Maroni, after Molini's father, Luigi, after Molini, one of the opposite crime families, is done having a nice date with one of Falcone's daughters, which is an interesting relationship.
That's an interesting phrase.
He is killed by Holiday, and Falcone, Catwoman witnesses Falcone paying a hitman in the cemetery, and Falcone, Marlini agrees to meet with Harvey to testify against Falcone in exchange for immunity. That's all that happens on Father's Day.
Again, not a real holiday.
Yeah, well, they gotta get you through the year.
Yeah.
But on your father or mother, DJ.
I love my father and my mother.
But now we're on July 4th, the birth of our great nation.
America.
Batman is captured by the very intelligent Scarecrow and the idiotically dumb Mad Hatter as they rob a bank for Falcone. But Bruce escapes and defeats them as they drop cash off at the cemetery. On the boardwalk, Falcone's hitman attacks Harvey and Gilda during the fireworks display, but good old Selena intervenes, knocks the hitman out. Oh wait, sorry, but the hitman knocks both of them out. Harvey awakes to find the hitman dead after hearing a very dark and evil voice talking.
No way.
And finds blood on his hands. So he runs away. But that's all we oh yeah. Falcone's sister, Carla, publicly accuses Harvey Dent of being Holiday. How rude of her. But when Harvey has Maroni in court, Batman meets with Gordon and reveals he found Holiday guns in Dent's basement, proving that to Bruce, unfortunately, Harvey is the killer, is Holiday. In the middle of the courthouse, however, Maroni accuses Harvey of being Holiday and throws acid in his face, scarring him permanently. Being hospitalized but escape, and is picked up by Falcone's men. Harvey kills his guards, flees into the sewers, and is nurtured back to health by one Mr. Solomon Grundy. On Falcone's birthday, which is also not a holiday, but important to the Falcone. On Labor Day, Harvey and Grundy both attack a prison convoy. Batman, disguised as one of the guards,
Yeah, Grundy's back.
He was back earlier, back on.
Well, I know that he was back earlier, but like he's doing stuff.
Grundy is subdued. But Maroni is shot by Holiday from another building over. Holiday, Harvey, and Grundy escape. At Wayne Manor, Alfred prepares for another Halloween, while Bruce questions his motives for fighting crime. Alfred assures him that, regardless of his parents' connection to the mob, they would be proud of him. Batman asks Catwoman about her obsession with the Falcons and confesses that Falcone is her father. Or at least, and the only thing she wants to know is who was her mother's name. Harvey, now known as Two-Face, and Grundy attack Arkham and free several of its members. Ivy, Scarecrow, the incompetent Mad Hatter engage with the GCPD, while Two-Face, Grundy, Joker, and the Penguin attack Falcone's building. Well, they overwhelm Falcone's guards and Sophia, and Two-Face prepares to flip a coin to decide whether Falcone will live or die. But she did edit the coin. Now there's a mark on the end of it. So now he knows.
It's a
He
bit more
knows which side his
discernible.
head's.
It's a classic Two-Face look.
Batman and Catwoman arrive to defeat the Rogues, but are unable to prevent Two-Face from shooting Ivy. Shooting Falcone. Distraught, Sophia falls out of the window to her death. Unfortunately. So bad for Sophia. But Catwoman reveals her face to Falcone, who says Luis for dying in Bruce's arms. Two-Face, turning himself over to Gordon, claims responsibility for all the holiday killings. But unfortunately, that is not the truth. In the Dent basement, Gilda burns her holiday items while Batman looks on. She confessed that Falcone had annihilated her marriage to Alberto and had the child aborted, rendering her infertile. Oh, there it is. As Holiday, she exacted revenge against the entire family. She accuses Batman, assures Batman that Holiday is done. Batman and Bruce and Alfred are back at the manor on Halloween. This is all taking place on Halloween. Saying how, like in the beginning of the movie, Alfred had a bowl of chocolate in case they get any trick-or-treaters. And Bruce is like, we didn't get any trick-or-treaters. Well, you got to have hope, Master Bruce. And then Bruce tells him the exact same thing again. And then ring at the door. And a kid in a Batman costume comes out. So Alfred gives him some candy. And Liam's like, you're pretty when you're wrong. Selena reveals to be together with Bruce and mocks his previous skepticism. And in another post-credit scene, the doorbell rings again. Alfred opens the door to the flashing Green Arrow and informs Bruce of their arrival. And that's how our movie ends.
No.
Yes, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate.
But there's one thing I will mention. The Falcone did say the name of the movie.
It was a long Halloween. Because it was over a year. Oh my goodness. It's almost as if it was the title of the movie.
Yeah. But yeah. What did you think of Long Halloween?
Well, I was about to ask you the same thing, but I'll go first. So, Long Halloween, the comic, is one of my favorite comics of all time. I really need to give it another read. Well, it's one of my favorite Batman stories of all time. I really need to give it another read. But I personally really like the idea. I mean, it's got a bunch of villain flavor for those who like them villains. It's got a good story behind it. Solid characters. I actually really like this portrayal of Catwoman. Really, really sad that we won't be seeing it anymore. I just really dig the vibe of the movie because it just feels like, obviously it's not a one-for-one recreation of the comic, but it just feels like comic has like officially, jumped to the screen a little bit. That's what I liked about it. What about you, Carl? What did you enjoy about the Long Halloween?
I will agree with you. Yeah, we unfortunately will never get this Catwoman again because now I had the name of it a second ago. Let me go back to it.
Naya Rivera.
Naya Rivera played Catwoman. She unfortunately passed away after saving her child in a boating accident.
Yep.
She only has, hate to say it, only one very notable role. Let me see if I can remember what that was, if I can ever get my hand on her name. Thank you. Let's see, what was her most notable role? Oh yeah, Glee. Glee was her breakout role.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually really liked her as Catwoman, and I really wish we could have seen more of it. But it's better to have lost than to have never had it all. So
At,
I'm glad we could have had her.
at least, well, there's one good thing. At least she was able to finish the film.
That is very true. It very much could have been, like the Chris Farley and Shrek situation where they're very close, but they can't finish off key points of the film, and the whole thing has to be scrapped. That would have been horrible.
Yeah, well, at
But
least she got to finish it.
enough dwelling on the depressing stuff.
Okay.
I feel like it had a really unique twist villain. Uh, Obviously, when it comes to animated Batman villains being twisted, I mean, oh god, her name escapes me at the moment. Who was the Phantasm? What was her name?
Oh, good thing I have handy dandy Google it.
Thank you, girl.
Batman,
Her name
Mask,
escapes me at the moment.
Mask of the Phantasm.
She appeared only in that movie.
No, she appeared in Justice League. She
Oh
didn't
yeah,
talk,
that's right.
Andrea Beaumont.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Andrea Belmont. Very much. I definitely wouldn't say on the level of that because Mask of the Phantasm is a great movie. But still, it was nice to see, a twist film that you can kind of tell that it was Andrea and the Mask of the Phantasm. Sorry about that. But for someone if you hadn't read the comic, you might not have caught on to the fact that Gilda was the holiday killer all along, which I feel like any sort of good mystery that you can keep up, especially through with pretty much a 3-hour movie, if you want to sit through both parts, I feel like that's pretty impressive. Yeah, I just overall enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the some of its parts, and I feel like it's a really fun watch. For Halloween, without Halloween behind it, whatever you wish. What about you,
Well,
Carl?
at least they didn't treat the movie like Batman Flesh.
Yeah, they didn't fundamentally change the idea of the movie like they changed Batman Hush. That one still gets under Jacob's craw to this day.
Well, it just wasn't a very good ending.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, he was in Riddler was in the movie and in the comic. He wasn't Hush.
no, the whole idea was introducing Hush, Thomas Elliot. That was the whole idea. Yeah, but whatever. We're not here to talk about bad movies. We're here to talk about, in my opinion, a pretty good movie.
And I do like how it's in the how it's the first time Batman shows up in the new Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, it was definitely a new feel when it comes to an anime Batman movie. Obviously, we've grown very accustomed to the DCAU's Batman, whether it be the DCAU encompasses the animated series and all that, right?
Yeah, it's the pretty much when Kevin Conroy and all of those people were headlining everything.
Yeah, it's just a very new, with a slight change, a newer take. Nothing that fundamentally changes the character or anything, but just something fresh, something new, and a beloved Batman story coming to the big screen, well, of HBO Max. But yeah, I enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I did like the film. I think it's the second one to split a story into two movies.
Yeah,
I
they did that
believe
with
The
The Dark
Dark
Knight
Knight Rises,
Returns.
The
Oh
Dark
yeah,
Knight
right.
Returns. No,
Yeah.
Returns. It's Returns. I said Rises by accident.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Which I actually didn't mind the fact that it's split up. I wouldn't do that with every movie, but I feel
Yeah,
like it was warranted here. Like
yeah,
I said, I
because
like
he'd say,
Grundy showing up, doing his thing. I like the amount of villains they crammed into this without it feeling like too much. Obviously, we got a little bit of Joker, a little bit of Ivy. There was some Scarecrow in there. There was some Mad Hatter. There was some Grundy, and obviously there was quite a bit of Two Face in there, and of course the Holiday Killer, Calendar Man. It was a nice little solid movie.
I like the Colin Man, the Calendar Man joke.
Which one in particular?
Like the guard's asking, "Do you know what today is?"
that
Taco Tuesday.
was a good one. That was a good one. But yeah, any further thoughts you want to put on the movie, Carl, before we wrap this review up? I know it sounds like we didn't have a lot to say, but it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like to see what they're going to do with this version of the DCAMU after they ended the New 52 era, which still scars Jacob to this day.
Oh, did it? Watching Justice League Dark Apocalypse War was something else.
FYI, don't watch that movie with your children. But
Oh God, no.
guys, unless you
Yeah,
really want to scar your children,
I mean, to be fair, I was introduced to DC animated movies pretty young. I mean, the first one I ever saw was Superman Doomsday. Little 8-year-old me seeing Superman get his crap kicked in and then die was quite the sight.
yeah, but you didn't see hundreds of superheroes get murdered, ripped apart.
Oh yeah, that one is way worse. Way worse on every account.
But yep, that is our thoughts on Long Halloween parts 1 and 2.
Yes, sir. Actually, something I noticed is that the first part is rated PG-13, but the second one's rated R. Last time I checked, I could be wrong.
Let me double check that.
Although nothing really screams R rating. I mean, like I said, there was some blood in the first one, and they said a couple swears, but there wasn't anything that really cemented an R rating. Unless I'm missing something, unless that was just like a mistake when it first came out, because I saw it when it first came out on HBO Max, so I could be very, very wrong at this point.
No. Okay, let me see. I have part 2 open. Let me duplicate the tab and switch over to part 1.
Thank you,
Didn't
Carl.
want
You're a darling.
stupid Google.
But while Carl does that, I'm going to run a little outro here for you guys. And we hope you guys enjoyed not only this review, but our last episode, which was the comic oddities and the news. We also hope that you guys maybe give this movie a shot. It was one of the more recent outings when it comes to the world of DC animation. And, it's never too late for a good holiday themed movie, in my opinion. Yeah, and hope it wasn't too boring without Jacob this time around. And unless we have any news here from Carl.
No, you are right. Part 1 was categorized as PG-13. Part 2 was categorized as rated R.
Well, there you go.
The only thing it has here is this is the 5th Batman movie to receive an R rating after The Killing Joke, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, Batman Death in the Family, and Batman Soul of the Truth. I think I might know why.
Why is that?
Why? Technically, it actually, I'm thinking. Oh yeah, sorry. Because in the last part near the end, when Gilda's giving her confession to Batman, she does say how they might consider that as an abortion, and
Fair.
that might be not okay for children to hear. Adults can hear it all they want, but maybe not for children, because you don't want to have to explain to a child what an abortion is. Adults,
I guess that's fair.
outside of a child who posts Twitter or is on the internet. But a normal, sensible child doesn't like you don't want to have to explain to them what's like, mommy, daddy, what's an abortion?
Oh God.
Oh crap! How am I going to explain this to a kid? Like, oh, that
Yeah,
might be why.
that might be why. And they cranked up the violence a bit on the second part, but I don't think it was egregious. But who knows? Maybe it was some kind of office thing that they decided on. But either way, unless Carl has any further thoughts he'd like to put out there.
Yeah, I did like the song that the Joker was singing while he was decorating the Christmas tree. That was fun.
It was fun. It was very fun.
Also, next time we do a movie, you guys got to find DJ Tell to get a cookie or a piece of pie.
No.
Yes. Or a
I
piece of
just
chocolate cake.
realized going into the holiday season, that joke is going to become more and more prevalent.
Yes, yes, it will.
God help me. But yes, on behalf of Carl, my friend here, and you know what? I'll even say it on behalf of Jacob, who we wish could have been here tonight. This is your favorite Southern Californian son signing off. Bye
See
bye.
y'all. See y'all.